again, YouTube. This is Dr.Kendo, and I'm here with Scribblenauts Unlimited once again. Starting off with the soccer ball. No, not just because I'm excited about the World Cup coming this summer. We're actually using it as the source object to create today's object request. If you are unfamiliar with my series, what I've done is long ago I compiled a list of subscribers' requests. And yes, I'm still doing them, so the list is quite long, and I will open up requests once again in July or August coming up this summer. But at that time, requests will be done a little bit differently, so please stay tuned. It'll be on a top comment and voting system. But anyway, you saw that we edited this soccer ball by giving it these two hemisphere shapes, one red and one white, and then putting in a sphere in the very middle that was smaller than a circle that was right behind it, and just paint those white. What does that mean? It means that we've created a Pokeball. Many will remember that I actually showed off the Pokeball creation already in Scribble Ventures in this clip here. Go Pikachu! Hopefully you remember that at least. But anyway, just kind of going over the scripting that I did for it real quick, I made it so that actually, the request was asking, can you make the Pokeball actually catch whatever it's thrown at? And so you can't exactly do that, but you can make it like this with the scripting. You say, when this object collides with an object, then do replace an object, and I just did steam. You could do like wind or steam or just whatever to make it kind of look cool. But I'm saying replace an object basically so that the object that the Pokeball was thrown at will disappear, and then there will be a certain effect. So we'll also bring out another famous Scribble Ventures character, which was Bulbasaur, who appeared just very shortly in my very first episode ever, where I had the 3 Generation 1 starters. So let's throw it at the Bulbasaur. Let's throw our Pokeball. See, there you go. It shows that it replaced the Bulbasaur, but then all this steam came out, So to me, that just made it look more like, I guess, wind, or just made it kind of have a cool effect after you threw the Pokeball at him. So one thing that I noticed, of course, was that that Pokeball looks a little bit big. I know that Maxwell is kind of a tiny character in general, but that Pokeball was a little bit big, so I just shrunk it down some. But I also figured, why stop at Pokeball? Let's go ahead and create some of the other versions of the Pokeball, some of the greater things, such as the Great Ball. That's actually what we're doing here. Just, of course, paint the top hemisphere with this light blue color. And the Great Ball has these 2 red lines on it that are kind of curving around the Great Ball. So I figured going into that 29-page library and just grabbing an arm shape of some kind would suffice for that. So here is the Great Ball. We'll go ahead and create some of the other ones too, of course, so I'm not just gonna stop here, because wouldn't you like to see, perhaps, I don't know, an Ultra Ball right here? So just paint it with a yellow color, and then we'll do this rectangle and kind of give it that black. I'm not gonna go solid black, I'm gonna go with kind of the next step down from the solid black, and I need to try to get the black on the side, so I'm gonna try a few options here. But while we're fiddling with that, of course, most people know that a Pokeball, it's obvious that it belongs to the Pokemon series, but it's a key item that trainers use for catching their Pokemon and storing them. Storing a Pokemon inside a Pokeball, kind of allows the Pokemon trainer to just take it with them on their journey. Gosh, I actually can't figure out a good thing for the sides. Maybe just using the line or the capsule shape. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So here, this is what it looks like with the capsules or the lines. I think that that's good. So what's better than an Ultra Ball? Well, possibly some other things, but just going along with the generic Pokeballs, we're gonna go with the Master Ball now. It's Master Albert's favorite Pokeball version, the Master Ball. So I've actually heard that the Pokeball is almost the same size as an orange. Obviously, an orange isn't going to make you catch Pokemon, but that's what I've seen in a particular size comparison on a website. But what I'm reading here is that the diameter is 2.5 inches, the circumference is 7.85 inches, the weight of it is 5.53 ounces, which is funny because I always just think that it looks a little bit heavy, not like super heavy or anything, but it's like probably made of some kind of metal or steel or whatever, so it's bound to be kind of heavy, I would think, just with the Pokemon in it and stuff, and how they just kind of slam on the ground. I don't know what made me think that. And so actually, back when I was doing the Pokemon Red series, which I don't know if I'll ever make another episode of that, because there are so many other series that I'm doing, and of course keeping up with Scribblenauts and my crazy life. How could I ever bring in all these series back and do them all and give them all the appropriate amount of time? One thing to note is that with this Master Ball, before I kind of go off of that, the M in the middle of the Master Ball is usually smaller, but Scribblenauts, obviously, we sometimes have limitations with that. I cannot make the M any smaller than this right here. I would have to make the Pokeball bigger or do some kind of secret methods or whatever, I don't know. Or I would have to do something else just to try to make it look smaller or whatever. So quickly, I just wanted to go through because I also created some of the other random various Pokeballs that you can use in the various Pokemon games. And so there actually are two versions of a Safari Ball, but I tried to get this one that had the S and then also just throw some camo on there, but mostly paint it green. Kind of sticking with the early versions of the Safari Ball. But we also have the Lure Ball. That's this right here. And the Quick Ball. I think that's probably one of my favorites. You know, it's fun to just like get right up into the battle and then just throw it right away and catch the Pokemon. So the Quick Ball right there, just using the variety of the geometric shapes to create that one. We've also got the Repeat Ball. It's got an interesting little design. And we also have the Level Ball. So how did I kind of pick which ones to do? I don't know. I just kind of picked some various ones that had different colors, different shapes, different things about them. And just some of my favorites, just things that I thought would be interesting to create. But also Valentine's Day was on Friday, of course, with today being Sunday, February 16th. So I thought in that spirit, why not also end off on the Love Ball? So the Love Ball, of course, I sometimes want to call it the Heart Ball, but it does have the little heart shape. So, of course, when you type in heart, you can choose between the organ of an actual human heart, or you can do the heart shape. So, clearly, that's what we've done right here. And so it is, of course, a pink ball with the heart shape on it with a little line that we're going to make a dot right there. So the dot is actually small enough to, I guess, allow for the Love Ball to look like this. Let's go ahead with another Gen 1 starter that I had created, which was Charmander. I really like how he turned out. So let's go ahead and throw this at the Charmander because I have scripted that was awesome! What the hell? Oh my gosh. Well, I had scripted it. Apparently I did a script that never ends. I need to go back and check that. But I had scripted it to where it would create, I thought it was just going to do one or two heart shapes, but it apparently endlessly created them. That was pretty sweet, actually. I'll have to go back and play that in slow-mo and post. That was crazy. So yes, one thing that I thought of actually since we were in Punctuation Plaza for all of these clips is if you want to get to my store, I know some people I've told you just type in my YouTube channel's name and they say they can't find it. I've had other people find it that way, but you can also just do DR space KENDO. And so if you just type in Dr.Kendo, usually that will also come up with my store, at least I think. But then it also comes up with some fake people. That's when I know I've hit it somewhat big, at least because people are faking my store and they're doing Dr. Kendo commentaries with only one M instead of two M's for commentaries. So shame on you, whoever did that. But anyway, I also take it as a compliment. So lastly, of course, just one more mention that the requests on my channel will not be taken until July or August. I still haven't exactly decided which month. It's probably going to be in July because that's Founders Month for Dr. Kendo commentaries. One last thing to note regarding the Pokeball creations, the various Pokeballs in the games. Supposedly, all Pokeballs are approximately the same size. You may see in the very end, I'll probably show it at the very, very end, that I have all of the Pokeballs next to each other. But some of them, like the Master Ball, for instance, I had to make a little bit bigger just because that M, wouldn't shrink down. So there was a few size limitations, I guess I'll say. So pay no mind to that if you're going to troll or nitpick about that. They are pretty much all around the same size in real Pokemon lore, I guess. So please note. And so next episode, I'm not sure if it's going to be next weekend or if I'm going to take a week off. I'll decide kind of as I'm going. But next weekend, I'll do probably one of those clip show style Scribblenauts commentaries where basically I will create several items and just show all of them, maybe with some music or something like that. But we'll get through a lot of requests next weekend. So I thank you so much for your endless support. And of course, thanks for viewing. You can be the viewer and
down the road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return to the rest of our lives in the space.